Hello. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
All rise, order in this effing court. It is time for We Got a Case. Happy to announce that no Johnny Depp shit for like quite a few days.
Hallelujah to that.
Although a lot did happen yesterday. I did watch.
I watched back today all the beautiful things that were said. Wow.
There was some good things. Her with the acting career. People are really not believing a word of
actress. Yeah, she's a terrible actress.
There's some good parts to it, but again, I'm so glad that I didn't sit there for 12 hours. Yeah, she had as many the dry and then there's one that I found where she stopped and like posed for a picture for 2 seconds. I mean, literally like 2 seconds she stopped like that to pose for a picture while she was doing that. Absolutely insane stuff, but it's so much better watching the Cliff Notes, if you will.
It really is.
Before we really jump into it, I want to play this clip. We've never had it on We Got a Case. It's one of the most classic clips there is over at 3B with Judge Jeffrey Middleton, hair down even. And I figured it's a good way.
Come on,
it's a good right. It's a guy got my hair down today too. It's a good way to start our Friday. Just listen. This is an absolute classic. It's a quick one.
Quickies.
Then we'll bring this fool in. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Your name's not Buttfucker 3000, you yo-ho. Logging into my court with that as your screen name.
Look at his face.
That in a little bit.
Oh God! And the fact that he says the name is
logs into court like that. What's your name again?
Nathaniel Saxton, sir. But I don't believe that I typed anything like that in.
Well, that's what it says.
Well, I apologize. That should not be.
Yeah, you should. I'll put you in the waiting room. You can sit in limbo for a while and think about what you call yourself online.
So I guess the story goes that it's an old joke between him and his sister, and I think she got him.
Well, that one, I've had that happen to me personally, not the butt F for 3000, but I had somehow when I ordered DoorDash one time, it went through my Google.
I'm here, Eric.
And it just pops up. Yeah, I get my food and it says Mikey the Legend. I'm like, oh my God, what a bunch of a-holes they think I am at the Domino's right now. I feel so stupid, so I had to make sure the next time it didn't turn out like that.
Something completely random before we get moving. I can't remember it now. My dreams have been nuts for like 2 weeks straight. The sleeping is part of this, and it's been some crazy dreams. I don't know why, but it felt like an hour or so, and it was you. And I remembered the name at the time, the pizza place that you were just, you just had an open tab at and ordered every day.
Ah, beautiful.
What was the name of the place? Because I don't remember it right now, but I did in the dream.
The one it was in Jacksonville.
They were like buddies of yours, kind of, sort of, or something.
Me and Bishop went to the ribbon cutting of this pizza place.
That's what it was. I can't remember it now, and you can't either. I did in the dream, though.
I can't think of the name of it.
I did in the dream because I remember us talking about it. Anyways, all right. So off topic and off track.
I got free food all the time.
Oh my God! Did you ever? Never shared it with us. He privately had it sent to the house.
Private pizza.
Anyways, all right. We got a case. Going to try not to talk. All that much. Do our best. Starting over here, a very nice green screen. I don't understand. Is it just certain cameras that make you look like you are a cardboard cutout?
I'm thinking it's really bad lighting. That's got to be it, right? Bad lighting.
I don't know, but he's got a barber shop hanging from his neck. Let's do this. I'm ready.
Darius Warren, date of birth 1/28/1993. Upon which time they did learn that he was wanted out of Henry County on a probation violation. This all occurred here within Clayton County.
I figured you guys would enjoy that.
Okay. What was he? Do you know when he's wanted for?
This judge will never come back to the real courtroom.
No, ma'am, it doesn't show.
All right, just negotiated agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
Ed, what's up?
Go ahead.
Recommendation count 1, 12 months to serve, 60 days, balance probated. He's
Jefferson, yes, but
contact with Cassidy Franklin. Complete a family violence intervention program, pay a $500 fine. Count.
Oh yeah, I saw you had a
7 and 8 are the same recommendation to run concurrent to one another.
They just bailed on it. It was so
that's all that
anticlimactic.
That's all that.
But it was an early one.
All counts are to run concurrent with.
So did you give more crap about that, or was that not his?
Yeah, and the remainder.
No, everybody was fine with
counts
that.
2, 3,
So
4.
happy.
Emergence count 1, count 5 would be null pros, count 6 would be null pros.
It's Friday, Vicky. I hope so.
Yeah, I keep an eye out
on his criminal history. What he
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot
here.
It was given false name, yeah. I apologize, Ron. That was one charge.
Oh, the bottle part, Delcy, was very interesting. The other part from that yesterday is when their eyes kind of locked and the security held him off a little bit. I didn't realize he's as blind as he is. Did you know that?
I didn't.
That's what they're blaming it on.
It's like he was on felony. He was on felony probation in Henry County for entering auto.
He's a seeing eye dog at this point.
From 2018.
All right, give me a moment, please.
Go ahead, take your time.
Don't forget Florida Friday on We Gotta Chase the Tags.
Where did Kim come from?
How are you gonna go there? But yeah, so Florida Friday coming up today, and members only at 6 o'clock.
To be first offender as well. Yeah.
First offender, Creed. Yeah, that case is something else. This and where she went yesterday was like, whoa, my goodness. Anytime you hear pubic bone, you're like, whoa, time for me to leave. This has got way out of hand.
Hello, Carol.
My God, are we working at a snail's pace in this courtroom in Clayton County today?
Yeah, I hope for harassment court too. It is the highlight of my Friday for sure.
Always the best of the best in there.
Boy, ain't that the truth?
Where's Kim? Can Kim come back? Page. Oh, look, he's got an embroidered shirt right here.
Terminator got called out by her sis on Facebook about gas prices. I laughed about that.
She was gas shaming.
Yes, she was. Yes.
How dare you gas shame?
Wearing a mask like Mikey on a Disney transport bus.
Yes. Oh, if I only went like 2 weeks later, Creed, we'd been just fine.
I have been watching, so I feel your pain, Nancy. I hope you feel better.
Go back.
I've started watching a lot of the Disney streamers again because I don't have a lot of time.
Right.
But I've been watching people in those crowds. My God, the stuff that they're doing at Epcot is just crazy.
Were they moving furniture at the jail? Holy crap, that was loud.
I just can't imagine having to hear that day in and day out.
Oh, everything echoes. It's constantly boom, 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 boom.
There is some good videos comparing some of the like romance novels and things, a lot of the things that she said, which I find, and I'm not making fun of, by the way, I'm not making fun of, she absolutely got her ass beat here and there, and some bad stuff happened. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of give and take around that house, I feel like.
Yeah. So don't think that we're sitting here making a mockery of somebody getting abused, but it's very interesting, to say the least. We do have good fans. That's part of why we're doing this and continue to do what we do. We say that, but we mean it. I don't know what's going on here. Let's jump over here just to see what up. I just wanted to see David's hair first of all. And Joanna is very confused or scared. I'm not sure. And Lazy Jake reminds me of somebody, an actor.
I wonder if there's a connection that she can.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Thank you.
Yes, I do.
Is she in heaven?
I don't know, but her facial expressions annoy me.
May 6th, 2021.
And when did y'all separate?
May 20. Well, he wrote in the documents May 28th. Last saw him on May 27th.
Jesus.
Don't you worry.
Do you agree that there's no substantial community property that needs to be divided?
I do.
And essentially that everybody should just keep their own stuff, right?
Yes.
Everybody's broke.
Now tell me what happened the evening of May 25th, morning of May 26th, 2021.
I mean, I'll try to be brief. Basically, it was a continuation of an argument from May 24th about him being very angry about my friends and wanting me to cut them off, and being upset with me for getting into trouble because of the abortion, because he broke the Army rules to take me to New Mexico. And
a lot of information.
Wow.
So he was very, very angry.
Jumping right into this one.
May 24th, and then that sort of bled into May 25th.
I have a friend that has a great story about slashing tires. I hope that he tells it someday.
I had said we couldn't come home unless he went to counseling, and
he might
apologized, and he did apologize for some of the things he said, but then he went back after the friends again. And the issue with the friends is that
Let me break it up with question and answer then. What is the issue with the friends that he had?
That guy was like Rob Riggle.
He thinks they're traitors because they were there for me when he left me for being pregnant.
So what happened next that evening?
Wow, boy, we're really getting her going today on a Friday, huh?
What happened next that evening?
He's that guy, the guy in the middle.
He had been texting me, like I said, coming home, and he was writing like, "Your friends are pathetic, hypocrite, traitors," and he named 4 of them in particular.
Where was he writing that?
Before he had threatened to hurt them, and he did it again, coming home that night. And I was angry, and in the course of this relationship, I didn't show anger. But he crossed the line with the friends who had been nothing but gracious to him and kind to me.
Crossing the line, Dustin.
Couldn't understand it.
RJ, I think you might be right there.
Seemingly, they were also at
So what happened? What happened next?
So we get into an argument.
Go ahead.
He at one point says,
she did say the abortion, right? I heard that.
Like the family, like, and he
said
said
something about the Army code in Mexico.
Mom, brother.
Okay.
Because they didn't believe your narrative about the abortion last year, and I said there is no narrative, like it's what happened. And he said something about them being traitors, and I said my friends being traitors, and I said, "You're the traitor. You killed our baby." And he
technically.
And and then it just like sat on my cheek, and then I just like dissociated.
Nathaniel, better than them stopping at your house, I guess.
So what happened?
Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
And then he's like pacing back and forth and ranting and raving, but I don't know what he said. And because I was like just out of my body in that moment. And then at some point he said, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that about that."
Hi, Angela.
And then I wiped it off my face and I said, "It's okay." And then he said, he said, I just want to be dead. And
Windy City Bobby, is that who I think?
And then went downstairs, or we went to go downstairs.
The
He
guy
called
with the
a few of
thing
my
like
friends. They
this,
didn't answer.
sticking
I
up?
called my mom, and then I got her on the phone.
I
and
think
said,
Jake
"Known
looks like
about
Rob Riddle.
the day before, and
Okay.
why he was- and she said to him about my friends and where
I'd
he
see
saw
where
it
he's
coming
going with
from, and to try to help us mediate. So we do that. We're at the top of the stairs. At one point, he grabs my wrist to not let me go downstairs, and that's one of the bruises you can see. Then we come downstairs, and we get down here, and we're still on the phone with my mom. We're on the phone with my mom, and come down here.
That's a damn good picture.
I could see it though over there with Jake.
Speakerphone with us both, and I just go right over to the kitchen and I grab a knife and I just like minorly cut my wrist, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I just dropped the knife into the sink, and then I crouched down on the floor, and Matthew was arguing with my mother. And just
what happened next?
And then I kept arguing with her. She said he'd been through my phone and he knew what they had said about him. So that's why he hated all my friends. And he was just pretending at the wedding like everybody else. And kind of going on about that. And then she said, well, that's why you shouldn't go through people's phones. And he said, well, you should tell that to your daughter. She went through mine on Saturday. And is now upset about a girl from 2016. And I said, well, it's because you Snapchatted her 9 weeks ago. And then he said, that's because I don't have any friends. And he punched the cabinet.
Wow.
He punched it so hard he
Look
broke
at
his
him
hand,
now.
and he broke the china inside.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Show you a dead body, and he ran
Oh
to the
my
garage from the back
God.
door. And then he opened the garage, and I got there.
Is this the Johnny Depp trial?
Him the assault rifle case down. in the
Assault
garage,
rifle?
you know, really loud clatter.
If she starts talking about a liquor
She was
bottle, we're out of
opening up
here.
The assault rifle case. So I ran, and I got there in time, and I put my body on the case.
Tear
I just
check.
laid on the case, and I held on as tight as I could, and he just kept trying to open the case, and then he was trying to pull me off the gun case. And he started, went for about 3 minutes, and I just was holding on and begging and crying and saying, please, I love you so much. Oh my God, I love you so much. Please don't do this. Oh my God. And I asked him to go for a run or take a walk and cool off, and he wouldn't. And then he just kept pulling at me, and I just kept crying. And then and like
Hello, Mary
grabbing
Pose.
me and like striking me and pulling at my hands, and it was just like so many things happening at once. And then I realized he was gonna win eventually. Like I couldn't hold on forever. And I remember this very clear thought of like, I have to call for help. So I started screaming for help.
There are no tears.
And that's what one of the neighbors heard. And then when I started screaming for help, he got really angry and he took off and he went back into the house. And I followed.
No, apparently, you can say whatever you'd like.
To another room, and I believe it's because
crazy
he
in
wanted
here.
to get the only other gun we had in the house, but I don't know for sure.
What
And
happened next?
Delcy, she's more worried about going for a run or something
upstairs, he got
than
some stuff, and
calling the
he went back
911.
down. At some point, he went back to the garage and got that gun and brought it to his car and put it in the car. And mind you, all this time he's saying, you know, he's going to show me a dead body, like he wanted to kill himself. He was threatening to kill my friends and hurt my friends. He said if murder was okay, he was taking care of it already.
Punching the
It was
cabinet.
about them. And he's got the gun in the car. And so he gets in the car, so I'm running after him, and I'm like, please don't do this. Oh my God, like, please don't do this. And I'm just like screaming, I think, or crying. And it didn't feel loud at the time, but I guess a lot of people heard us. And
Did she say she didn't feel loud at all?
Trunk to get the gun out of the trunk, and it was locked. So I went around to the passenger seat and I got in, and I just said, please don't do this, please don't do this, like please. And he was like, no, get the fuck out, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, please, like, can you just take a drive like for 5 minutes and just see if we calm down? And he was like, no, you're trying to ruin my life. Da, da, da. And he kept saying, you're ruining my life. Like he was saying that to me when he was trying to pull me off the gun case too. And
So what happened? What happened next?
He came around the passenger side and he threw me out of the car, and I landed on the ground, and I got back up and I went back to the
Could you
trunk.
play
And I
hangman?
tried to open the trunk again. And it was still locked. So I went back to the passenger seat. And
What do you think? Look at
I wanted
Matthew.
to just get the
Take a
gun
good look at
away.
Matthew.
And I went back into the passenger seat. I was in the seat.
All right, Shorty, let's see what you're
And
saying.
the front door, or the passenger door opened still. From where it opened it, I got in, and I was just like, please, please don't. And he
Look at the attorney David over
And
here.
he cut the wheel as hard as he could to the right. And the force of both sent me like flying out, but I was holding on to the car door that was still open. So it was like I was dragging.
Hanging on a car door being
He
drove.
slammed on the gas.
Yeah, no, she's got a crazy story.
When he did it. And then my neighbor came outside and screamed, "Stop, stop, you're gonna run over, you're gonna kill her, you're gonna hurt her." I don't remember one of those three things. And he stopped.
So what happened next?
He stopped the car when
How
my
much
neighbor
is he
screamed at him
getting
to
paid by
stop.
the word?
And then he looked
I only
at
got
me.
He's very
15
abrupt.
words left.
"Are you okay?" And then he got out of the car and said, "Sorry, man, I'm just trying to leave an abusive relationship."
So what happened next?
Then I was somewhere on the ground, I think, and I got up and I just remember seeing the lights of the cop car, but other people said it was longer than that, so I'm not exactly sure. But
So just because I
and
want to
then
be
he
cognizant
said-
of, yeah, go ahead. What happened next?
well, and then he said, like, "This is why you make me want to kill myself." And he
Allegedly.
was like, "I'm gonna get in so much trouble or something." I was like, "No, I won't get you in trouble. I won't get you in trouble." And the cops came up.
No, it was not
and they were
Mikey,
like,
Chris.
I don't remember the beginning of the conversation, but
Somebody else.
Wasn't me.
that we all know.
We were together, I think, for the beginning of it. I don't remember.
Maybe it's someone
what
that's
either of us
name
said
is
to
on
them
the
when we
name
were
of the
standing
channel.
right
Who
next to
knows?
each other. And separated us, but he was still in my line of sight and was even giving.
Stumbled
me
onto a great one,
like,
Sarge.
covering for me, like this.
For anybody that was missing the Amber Heard
Right
and
by his thigh.
trial,
We got your fix right here.
there you go.
How much of the? I mean, did the cops separate y'all where you couldn't see each other?
No, I could see him the whole time. I was looking at him. I wanted to talk to
It
him.
wasn't
to
just a
make sure-
blank.
Oh, look at him. Look at him swinging at the camera.
So what happened next?
Just like did like that.
Eventually
Off to a good start today, Tiff, no
but
doubt.
he left, and he went to Fort Hood with that gun in his car.
Pew pew.
Did y'all ever
Joanna.
get back together after that?
The next day, there was
We
a
had
family
sex.
farewell, and I was his wife. And these-
Angry,
like,
mean.
Then there are these really cool like ceremonies they do.
Then we
in
took a
the
run.
army,
Uh-oh.
And they
she's
like
breaking down.
celebrate everybody coming in, and they like say celebrate everybody leaving, like thank them for their time. And everybody knew we got married. Everybody knew about us as a couple, and
That's what
I
this is,
loved
the
all
great
that
value
stuff,
version.
So I was
We got you
wanted to
covered,
go,
baby.
And I just wanted this all to go away and pretend it never happened. And so I went and I saw him there. And after we were not in front of everybody, but we were still in the public space, we talked a little bit about what had happened. And he it was the only time he's ever really like taken accountability for it. But he first showed me his hand.
I'm dying to hear what Matthew has to
Look
say.
at this. Look what
Good,
you
Dag.
do. Because it was all swollen and broken. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, I am covered in bruises. And this particular event was outside the barbecue. It was like 99 degrees outside. And I was
Not
wearing
100.
long sleeves and
Ooh,
long
so
pants
close.
to hide all the bruises. And I was like, I'm covered in bruises. And he was like,
You think she runs around the house and
"Let's turn
roars a
on the
lot?
bench," and he moved like down
Maybe.
one. And
I mean,
he
bruises
moved, like,
are bad, but I mean, I knew a lot of strippers that were covered in bruises too, for other
And I
reasons.
said, okay, we're gonna get help. We're gonna get help. And he said, thanks for sticking by me. And I said, of course, we're gonna get help. And then
Loud, you might be right. Might be honest.
very quickly it turned into the friends thing again. You're choosing your friends over me. Those 4 pieces of shit, you're gonna pick them over me, and you're gonna
Well,
we're
maybe
gonna-
they were.
gonna choose them. And I was like, wait, is that what this is about? Like, please. And then he was like, yes. And then he got up, and I'm a little like, it's not exact order, but just. And then he got up and was like, tell 2 of them I'm gonna put them in the ground or on the ground. And so I left and I drove home from Fort Hood to
On the
Austin,
ground.
and I called one of my friends and told them, and then they said, and this was May 27th, and they said, you have to report this.
He's
And
pounding
I
that white
begged-
claw.
I said I couldn't. I wasn't ready. That he was going to get counseling, and they said, if you don't, we're going to do it for you. And they did the next day. And then I got a call from his commander, and I was so scared to get him in trouble, so I lied and said it was fine. And then he said he had to meet with me. So I dressed in long sleeves again, and I told Matthew that he had asked me to come in and I had to meet with him. And he freaked out and he turned on me so fast and was like,
Go on.
so mean. And just was like, if you do this, this and that, and like you're so vindictive. And if you come in here, and my friend had been staying with me ever since the assault. Because the night of the assault, he left and my friend was in Denver and she flew in the next morning and she came straight to my house and she stayed with me for 3 days. And so she
3
was
whole
there.
days, huh?
Never heard him talk to me like that. And so she started recording. And partly, yeah.
So what happened with I gotta save time for my testimony.
sorry.
So no, you're not doing anything wrong. I'm just letting you know where I'm at. I don't want to run out. So, and then by the way, they said that you didn't Mr. Thwaites, that you reported just emotional abuse when I asked him about the report on June 6th of 2021, right?
Correct.
Is that accurate?
That's not.
And did you have on the few seconds that we had after he
There's
made
the
that
fax
claim,
number
were
if you
able
need
to
it.
locate the victim's advocate referral form that has physical checks as well?
Yes. And the
And
date
did you
is
fill? Hold on. Did you fill this out?
no.
Intimate partner.
Okay. But this is after the report after you report to FAP, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'd offer respondents 18.
They were married and didn't have the same last name.
Enlarge
That's
it.
kind of weird.
And scroll up.
Well,
No objection.
18.
Scroll up. Let me see that.
We're waiting.
Oh.
And just briefly, because I do need to take time, tell me,
Please, for God's sakes, briefly.
I've asked you so much about the abortion, and you and I talked, and you do want to tell your side of it. So, what happened in y'all's relationship with the abortion?
Well, I don't want to say too much, but everything I have said is true. I was coerced, pushed, forced, given ultimatums, threatened. All of it is true, and mostly by Matthew, but his sister-in-law did decide to get involved and did offer to him to convince and persuade me to get rid of the baby. And she made her efforts to do that and told me on the phone, yes, there's no such thing.
We need to send her, his sister, over to the Ukraine to get everything settled. She can convince people of anything.
And David, just now with the hearsay.
Is this a text message from Mr. Thwaites, him being in the gray, that he texted you about the abortion?
Yes.
Offer respondent 16.
No objection.
16 is admitted.
Get off my lawn.
And then did he also share with you a journal entry about the abortion?
Several. Yes.
He writes a journal.
And on the break, did we upload respondent 17, which is the journal entry from?
Damn
Mr.
it, man.
He sure does.
Is that right, Miss Hallett?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In her darkest moments, she still found room to love others.
I believe it was reproduced, and also,
She's truly
as far as
a
the way this trial's gone,
once-in-a-lifetime person.
produce exhibits that have not been disclosed in their pretrial disclosures, and this is rebuttal into what they said.
The other problem with this exhibit, Your Honor, is that there are materials that
Matthew
Ms. Hallett that were left behind in
I
the
believe.
home.
The one shaking his head nonstop.
Hold on, Joanna.
All right.
That were left behind.
Overruled. The objection's overruled. It's 17.
Yes, ma'am.
17's admitted.
Yes, it was one of the
This
first things that
Mr.
she said when she opened her
Thwaites,
mouth.
Or a hand right says, "Why did I push her to terminate? This question will haunt me the rest of my life."
Yes.
Is that consistent with what he was telling you and what really happened?
He can push her all he wants, but
Now, as far as this litigation, let's just focus on that. You filed for divorce. We did ask for a protective order. Is that right?
Yeah, sorry. Did you just show 2 exhibits with the journal entry or just one? I forgot.
Just the one.
Okay.
And with regards to the divorce, we did seek a protective order. Is that right?
Yes.
which is filed in a different cause number than the divorce. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe.
Jules, we haven't even made it to harassment court yet.
And, why did you decide to non-suit the protective order?
Because I was talking with the prosecution, and they advised that
Her friends told her not to do it.
and the same as a protective order would, and they would last longer than the protective order, and all it would do is just subject me to more having to relive it.
And then did you have me send the email that we went over, respond at 7, saying let's resolve the divorce? It's all the way back in September. We're going to resolve the divorce, and we don't need to go through the divorce.
He does.
Yes.
I'm sorry, with the protective order. Why didn't you take them up on? And we'll end with this. Why didn't you take them up on? Well, that you need to drop the criminal case as well in order to resolve the divorce.
Yeah, no, I
I'm not
just
allowed to
stumbled
drop
on
the
this one,
criminal
Chris.
case. That's not my ability, but I don't want to.
And with regards to the divorce, you never sued Mr. Hallett for tort, right? You and I talked about that, but you never sued him for assault or anything like that. Is that right?
What about
Mr.
child support?
Thwaites.
never
But
mind.
yes,
Right.
yeah, I never sued him. No.
The only thing we did on the family violence, as far as was ask for the protective order, which we then non-sued when the
That's some of that old humor coming out. I'm
Mike
very
is saying,
sorry.
Right.
Not me.
Say
Very
again?
sorry.
I'll withdraw that. I'll pass the witness.
I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
So you
Very
told
sorry.
APD that you weren't harmed in any way on May 25th of last year, correct?
I also told them I was harmed.
Objection, non-responsive.
I also told him I was.
Unresponsive. Answer the question
What?
that he asked, and then if you need to be redirected, Mr. Gilbreth will ask you questions. And so it's sustained as to her answer being non-responsive.
And when I asked you about it in your deposition, you admitted that that's what you told APD, correct?
Yes.
This
And
started
you also
coming in
admitted
hot.
that you told Lieutenant Colonel Derek Druin that you were not harmed on May 25th of last year, correct?
So you're a well-known liar.
The bond conditions were in place well before you filed an application for protective order, weren't they?
I don't know, and I didn't understand them, or I didn't know what they were.
Hello, Mayor.
Meyer.
In everything that you described about what happened in the home on May 25th, Mr. Thwaites was trying to leave, right?
No.
You were trying to stop him from leaving and leaving with his belongings.
She said that, did she not?
You were trying to stop him from leaving with his belongings, correct?
No.
I swear
throwing
she said
herself
that.
on top of
That's not the
stuff.
nature of how the abuse occurred. No.
So you were at home all by yourself and he decided to come beat you up? Is that what happened? That's not what you said. You described a situation where entirely it sounds like he's trying to get away from you.
No, the entire thing with the gun, he was not trying to leave. At any point, he was trying to use a gun.
He was trying to get away with his belongings.
No, he was
correct?
trying to
I
use a
believe.
gun, which I told the police.
True statement, isn't it, ma'am? He was trying to get away with his belongings, correct?
He was trying to use a gun.
Objection, non-responsive. Ma'am,
I
he
thought
was
so.
trying to get away from the home with his belongings. True or false?
At one point.
Pass witness.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, at one point he did. Yeah.
What else did you tell APD that night?
I mean, I haven't seen the body cam. I've seen some of the transcripts that they have
Oh,
provided.
I'd love to see this body
But
cam. Do we have it?
When I was initially pulled aside, I told them mostly what I have just explained here, which was that
He could have tore
he
her
was going
apart with a million
after
other
me, so he was gonna
questions.
show me
I
the
like his
body, he was
style.
trying
He
to
just
pull me off the gun case and was
the
trying
one that he
to
really
use
had
the
her
gun.
on it and just
I didn't tell them anything about the car.
Because you're
For
a maniac.
the questions of the witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kazin, we are with you, and you may call your next witness, which probably is yourself for attorney's fees. Is that
It
correct?
is, Your Honor, and I don't know if you want to just save that till the end, and if Mr. Gilbert has anything else, address that.
Sure. Mr. Gilbreth has about 10 minutes, I think. Are you going to call any other witnesses? Save yourself for attorney's fees, Mr. Gilbreth.
Just myself on fees.
You're talking about attorney
Then,
fees.
Do both of
I
you
don't understand what
waive
that
oath
was
because You're
there.
already under oath as officers of the
anybody know what that
Yes.
was? They're like calling themselves
And
as
Mr.
witnesses
Kazin
for the
can go
fees.
first in the narrative.
All right. And David Kazin,
Well, I'll stipulate to qualifications, and he's an expert in reasonableness of everybody's fees in this case. Well, reasonableness of the rates, I guess, really, on this case.
Are they going to want the other party to pay their attorney fees, I'm guessing?
And I'll just go straight into what I spent, and I'm going to offer an exhibit that covers this.
We all should be in.
Petitioner's exhibit number 38.
She's got this sad puppy dog eyes.
So my comment on 38 is if the court reviews it,
wow, okay.
and it's the same on the deposition testimony. And yeah, Mr. Cajun's throwing out.
Are these the
there's not a
fees?
Single.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Everything is
Holy
redacted
shit.
other than the time entry.
One of them was
and
10,000.
Yeah.
The time entry and the
Wow.
corresponding-
3,000.
There's no nouns.
Oh my
no
God.
Adjectives. It's just a complete white. And so I have no ability to, and this is how they were produced as well.
Wow.
And the Supreme Court.
Well, that is about sufficiency of his fees. It's not evidentiary about the exhibit. And so you can cross on that in a minute and explain that to me in your closing. But I don't believe it's an evidentiary exhibit.
That's page 1 of 105, by the way.
Understood.
So
No objection.
I'm going to go
Let's
ahead.
hope only
and-
one of them has. Oh, I see subtotal. Ooh, we're getting there already.
And what I'll testify to in the narrative, I'll be very brief. The increments shown next to the dates, on the other side of the dates, are the increments billed to Mr. Thwaites' case. I did do a breakdown by category.
61K.
and dates.
Hold on, go back to the category.
Work in progress, breakdown.
There are further breakdowns. It's a 105-page document because it actually attaches all the bills except for the narratives, as Mr. Gilbreth indicated. What is indicated on the bills that Mr. Gilbreth received are the date, the biller, the hourly rate, and what it comes to on the amount that was charged that day. So
And the other lawyer said that this
rest,
is like not bad, right? Like
That's what I understood it to be.
They're never
Very
mentioned
reasonable.
to
Agreed.
begin with. And the final thing I'd say about that is it's a pretrial discovery matter that's waived by the time of trial if not addressed. Having said all that, those are my reasons for doing it the way I did it. And I don't think it's really
Dave Flusher.
anything other than a trial monkey wrench in the gears to raise.
It's only this expensive if you have something.
They are broken down.
Look at there's the
there are
hours at
summaries
450 an
of
hour.
the breakdowns that are attached. I have billed my client approximately a little over $60,000 in this matter. I do think it's important that the court is aware. The fees in this case wouldn't have been anything like that had we settled back when Mr. Gilbreth and I first emailed one another. It was on his answer date. And I suggested to him we should do just a simple each keeps their own divorce decree. And instead it twisted off into a number of different directions. And instead, Ms. Hallett
Let this be a lesson to all of us,
chose
shall
to
we?
share her story on the World Wide Web, not just once, not just twice, but thousands of times. And it does continue.
Well, that you just conceded then. I will say the reason that is a bad argument or bad testimony is you basically just conceded that what you are here doing isn't litigating the cruelty claim in the divorce itself, but you're relitigating the decision made by Judge Mangrum with regard to the TCPA cause of action. So do you want to focus on not having a rehearing of another judge's decision?
Sure.
Or because I think that would be a better use of your time rather than spending it basically saying why you believe.
Well, you can't say she doesn't keep this stuff moving, huh?
Yeah, this judge is no nonsense.
The categories that I've broken them down into are the deposition, the dismissal / anti-SLAPP, the creation of the claim for defamation, the actual research and paperwork and discussions regarding that.
Hey, if I had to tell a really long, tall tale to get out of having to pay those, I probably would.
I'd be like, then she come out of nowhere with the biggest knife you've ever seen.
Right.
These
I
charges
don't know where she got it at.
were
Look, I come from a flea market.
Unfortunately necessary. I feel like they were reasonable to deal with what my client was.
Thank you.
He wanted it at the tobacco store. It's a
and I
giant
tender
sword.
myself,
Yeah,
for
it's giant. Oh my
Mr.
gosh.
Gilbert.
You may have shown this, Mr. Kaiser.
Wow.
I'm sorry if you did, but with regards to the deposition,
I can only imagine what the
you
next
mind if I
guy's
share,
gonna be.
Mr. Kaizen? Because I've
Not
got
at all.
So that's what
with
David
regards to
is.
the deposition, you segregate
where's
those
Jake's?
because that's what Judge Shulock reserved was the motion to compel deposition, correct?
I'm gonna leave you
That's
real
one
quick. I'll be
category,
right back.
yes.
Go ahead.
And my email saying, look, we're going to object to the deposition. We're not going to attend. That was on the 27th, right?
So far, yes, correct.
You capture the time before we start.
And these guys don't care who pays them. They just want to get
setting up
paid.
the deposition, correct?
Yes,
But then you also, because the hearing in front of Judge Shulock was on October 22nd, correct?
I'll take your word for it. I don't recall dates right off the top of my head.
And you include in what you say is what's spent on the deposition. You
It
include,
really is.
for example, the actual deposition itself on the 19th, correct?
But misery has
I
a
think
huge
that's accurate.
price tag on
Okay,
it.
and you could include the preparation for the from it for the deposition, correct?
Sure, yes.
And then you include time entries after the deposition, 7.3 hours on 11/22,
Are they gonna
8
like
hours on
beat each other up now
11/22,
over this?
correct? 11/21, 11/22, correct?
Yes, yes.
And all that's after the time that Judge Shulock had to compel the deposition, correct?
I think that's right.
And there's really no way of me discerning one way or the other.
He's
One
doing a
way
better job of
I'm in those days
beating
that
up
was
on this guy
on
than he did her.
deposition versus something else in the matter because everything's redacted, correct?
The really informative stuff would have been redacted anyway. So I don't know that you would have been any more informed because it would have been confidential between me and my client.
In too deep
And
is
on
he,
the
everybody?
transcript in front of Judge Shulock, I said the same thing I'm saying today, which is looking on page 13. I said, I'll say that Mr. Kazin produces, this is so he's aware when, if we have a hearing later on fees, when he produces attorney's fees to me, they're redacted everything, literally everything. I can't decide a single thing. So, the only thing I will add to the motion, the response, what the court's already said, Mr. K is saying, I need attorney's fees for this. Well, he needs to produce fees that are not 100% redacted. And that's all I would add to the response of where we're at right now. I said that in front of Judge Shulock, right?
You did say that in front of Judge Shulock. You didn't bring any motions to address it. You didn't call me up to discuss it. That's the only other evidence there is of any concern about that.
I'll pass the witness.
Anything further on your testimony, Mr. Kazin?
Not as to the reasonableness of attorney's fees. Only other thing I would say is I did ask my legal assistant to break down those categories: deposition, anti-SLAPP, and so forth.
I don't know what anti-SLAPP
when
is.
the charges were made speaks for itself. So if the court wants to find only the ones that dealt
That's a
with
great
the
question.
actual motion to compel, those are right there and they correspond to what's in the file. I wasn't trying to suggest that the court absolutely
Think of all the money
must
they could have
this
saved.
number for this item or one or another. They're just broad categories that I, in my best effort, tried to break down. So I wanted the court to have that clarification.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Gilbreth, you may testify about your attorney's fees.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Jake Gilbreth. I've been licensed to practice law in the state of Texas. Since
Like Mr. Gilbreth, I'll stipulate to his qualifications, Your Honor, and the reasonableness of his rate.
Thank you. Mr. Gilbreth.
Respondents 9 is a summary of the fees and all the invoices unredacted attached. And I'd offer Respondents 9.
Oh my God. Let's see this one.
Fine is admitted.
Include a timeline just to
money
show
for down
sort of how I broke it down. So the total fees
Wow.
of the course would be $35,000. I looked at the time since the protective order was non-suited and calculated that time, which would be $27,000. And then the fees on the anti-SLAPP, I went through the bills and I'll show the court in a second. The fees just on anti-SLAPP was $5,820. I would also
30 days.
testify that if that is appealed, and I anticipate it will be, because they've asked
His
for
is more than the other guys.
law, which has been signed.
I wanted to see those broken down to the $500 fax, set and stuff.
And so the court's aware on the anti-SLAPP what I did on the exhibit.
That
was
was
highlighted because the motion was filed in November. And
thank you, Viking. That's okay.
you can see all this is
Okay,
the
okay.
motion just dismissed. That's all work done on our anti-SLAPP motion. The deposition I would testify was 100% on the defamation case. So I put my time there.
5 hours he worked on
And you'll
that.
see as far as emails and conferences, all the work from there was on the anti-SLAPP motion.
There's a
which is
$55
focused
email
on
they just went
divorce.
by.
Is not difficult at all.
I like the way this guy
captured all
bills.
that time, and that's how I come up with.
He's definitely more thorough than the other guy as far
Yeah.
as breaking it down.
2,820. I did include work in progress to get through this hearing because we've not been offered anything on the fees, and so I had to come to this hearing to get the fees on the anti-SLAPP motion. And so I would testify that all those fees.
So
are
does
reasonable,
Matthew not
necessary,
get a chance to
and,
say anything? Is that?
like I said,
We might have missed.
I did send respondents exhibit 7.
So I'm saying roughly 77,000 he's charging.
Spent response 7 asking to resolve it, and
Good
I was
God.
essentially told not going to be resolved unless the criminal is resolved. And at that point, I've not been able to resolve the lawsuit upon just everybody keep their own stuff, which is what we're doing. Essentially, what we're doing as far as the division of the estate. And with that, I would pass myself.
Any questions, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor, very briefly. Mr. Gilbreth, the respondent 7 was sent to me less than 24 hours before the scheduled deposition. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
And when I wanted to schedule this, by the way, you weren't the
wish.
one that noticed this final trial setting, were you?
I think that's right. I think you noticed it.
And when I noticed it,
This is interesting,
I
lawyer to
actually
lawyer
asked
here.
that you waive the 45-day requirement and get on the family law docket for less than 3 hours as soon as we possibly could.
Now I'm gonna have to BRB. I've been drinking
Correct.
too many of these little bottles of.
Do you
The
think?
response I got from you was no, correct?
It included the word no on that.
All right. The bottom line on that matter is that if my client wanted a final trial setting, he had to
Good
go
point.
and request dates beyond 45 days from when the request was made, correct?
Correct.
That body of evidence is completely contrary to your opening statement, wherein you said you've been trying to get this matter resolved as quickly as possible. Agreed?
No, sir.
That's all I have, Judge.
Nothing further.
If you want to say anything, you have about 2 minutes each. Mr. Kazin, you're first.
Your Honor, I have a client who has been trying ever since an unfortunate night approximately 1 year ago to move on with his life. If you look at I know you said you've done more Chapter 27 work than probably anybody in the courthouse. I think I'm not gonna. Do I think Judge Mangrum came to the wrong result? I do. I'm not asking this court to do anything about it, but I am asking you to understand why my client did all that he did. I think with Ms. Hallett's
Look at Joanna's face.
admission that she told APD and Lieutenant Colonel Druin that she was unharmed, I think my client's clear, specific prima facie case is made and the dismissal was inappropriate. And therefore, I think my client deserves his day in court on the defamation claims. But that's not your issue. Your issue is, why did he do the things he did in this case? Okay? And how reasonable is that to what he had to do in attorney's fees? And I
Yes,
don't
Carol.
know
Thank
if
God she died.
he has acted.
Mayor got
I don't know
JG.
when
300 seconds,
it's
baby.
gonna
300
come to an
seconds.
end, but I fear it's not going to be
Whoops.
for a very long time.
Sorry,
and what I mean
JG.
is the public proclamations and so forth.
I love when that happens. I'm
But
sorry.
I want the court to earnestly understand that I've got a client who had a career in the military and who instituted each of the measures that he did in this case just as a way to try to claw back some understanding of the life he had before. He doesn't want any harm to come to Miss Hallett, doesn't want anything to do with her, wants her to go on and have a spectacular, wonderful rest of her life, but he wants to as well.
Kresk Mikey would not make a
And
good trucker, would he?
that's really the tragic thing about this case. And so with regard to the attorney's fees, yes, you have our statement of what we think is reasonable and
There's
necessary. And so
Welcome back,
I
JG.
just ask the court
Happens.
that you think
The mayor
about
said
this from a
sorry.
10,000 foot view. I know you've got to follow the law, and I know you've got to follow the facts as applied to the law, but this is
Oh, it's so
this
easy.
circumstance that we've heard so much about today is in most people's lives something that's an unfortunate
It was.
historical event that
DK got it.
doesn't carry on. It just doesn't carry on. It doesn't. I mean, it might for the individual in their private thoughts, but it doesn't carry on in the public, in their workspace, in their everything. This one does. And so there you have it, Your Honor. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
She ruined his life.
Mr. Gilbreth, I have a question that you flew past a little bit a minute ago, and I need to understand what you're asking for.
Then he has the sword.
With regard to contingent attorney's fees, if this were to be appealed, what are you seeking and what are you asking for on contingent attorney's fees with regard to the anti-SLAPP decision under Chapter 27?
I testified 25,000 is what I
You
anticipate.
just want a blanket 25,000 if it goes to anywhere. I'm asking what you want.
Look at Matthew's face.
At the Third Court of Appeals.
25,000 in the third court, and the Supreme Court would be 25,000 as well.
Thank you. That's what you're asking for. I understand.
Yes, ma'am. And it's contingent, right, upon successful.
Mhm.
Now, it's my understanding of the law is that it must be conditioned on an unsuccessful appeal.
I think that's.
I believe Mayor was saying,
I'm
oh, not
disagreeing
own.
with that.
No,
That-
that is correct. I just wanted to know the number
Yeah.
because generally it's done by a brief, an oral argument,
God,
and then
these
another
guys are
brief
getting
and another
raked
oral
over the
argument.
coals.
But I see no real problem with the 25,000 block. I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Does Joanne have a job?
What?
Where's she getting all this?
So
And then
was that kind of a discounted rate he just said,
I
basically?
mean, even his 2 minutes is relitigating the defamation, right? Of just he needs his day in court and he's upset that she's saying this. And also, I got to say, him sitting there going, well, she told APD that she was unharmed. Well, we know that was a lie because he says he harmed her that night. He has a different version of the event. Even his version is criminal, by the way. Even his version is family violence. He can shake his head, but that's true. That what he did, even his own version, is family violence. And then sit there when a victim of family violence tries to keep her husband from being arrested when he's there, trying to keep him from being arrested. And they say, look, she told APD when she's unharmed. When he testified, he caused these bruises to her. She was harmed, and she was a victim of family violence. And it was righteous to file the application for protective order, but we tried to calm it down. We didn't sue him in tort. We could have. We didn't sue him for cruelty. There's not even a counter petition on file.
Cruelty? What is it,
for
an
my
animal?
client. We're just trying to get divorced. I would ask that you grant all the attorney's fees, which was $35,526 in this divorce. But you could look at it and say, okay, good faith dispute, or there's a dispute.
I got you, Flusher. Okay. All
All
right.
Once I wrote and said, you know what, the bond conditions control her, protect her.
Our guy.
And we don't need the protective order anymore. Let's just resolve it. It should have been done. And if you read Respondent 7, they are explicitly saying we're not going to resolve the divorce unless you drop the criminal charge. And then they explicitly use the defamation lawsuit to try to control her voice. And then even after the defamation lawsuit, they're using the divorce process to control her voice. in her First Amendment free speech. I would say to Mr. Thwaites that perhaps trying to silence the victim of family violence, that is not the way of going about it, that these folks do need to move on. And he has used this process through trying to negotiate the divorce by having her dismiss the criminal and then suing her for defamation and having that dismissed.
Oh boy. It's Friday and I'm in love. We won't miss any of the case, but go ahead and hit it, click it, love it. 100 of you here. That's right, 100. I love you. Who'll be the first to send and pay for these attorney fees? Will Creed ever come back? I don't think he's coming back. Creed?
Hey, can you turn your... Yes. Please.
Creed's gone, but he'll be back. Give me just a second.
Mr. Hartfield is good to go, right, Judge?
Correct.
Okay.
I can't believe Creed just up and left me like that. How rude.
I'm just kidding.
I gotta find the courtroom he was in real fast. Oh, there we
We're live on YouTube to comply with the open courts doctrine due to the COVID-19 state of emergency. This is cause 2021 CR 1277, State of Texas versus Nathan Valle. Are both sides present, ready to proceed? If you'll state your name for the record.
Yeah.
One at a time, please. Can I start with the state? Who's the state on this case? Nathan Valle?
Yes, ma'am. Nathan Valle. It should be Miss Flossie Madeline.
He's coming right now.
Okay.
Miss Flossie.
Come here, Judge. So I don't have his stuff back though. I have where Michelle signed it.
I have a completed copy.
Okay, let me just get into.
Let me try and find this courtroom.
Somewhere slow.
Up. Thank you, Creed. Jumping right back in there, guys. Everybody doing good today? JG, getting that shout out, bro. You guys love Creed frames. That was a hell of a one.
I think I have it, Judge.
Okay. Can you just state your name for the record?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Judge. Getting back to our courtroom right now. Everybody hold on to your hats. We're flying. Matthew's having a nervous breakdown, I think, by the way. This isn't good.
Time. And so the attorneys will either agree or not agree, and you'll have to come back and deal with that at a motion to enter, because you were allotted time at the beginning of the day and we have used it all up. And the court has other items on her agenda that she is already late for today. I believe that's everything from me. Mr. Gilbreth, please draft and get that to the court. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Or excused.
You're excused.
That's it. They've got everything they're waiting for just in time. I don't know if Creed's coming back. He might not be. I don't know. Give me just a second to confer with my client, Mr. Creed. I can't believe they did us dirty like that, man. That was dirty as hell. We all invested in shit. Sorry. I'm just upset. I lash out at those I love. I'm kind of like Matthew. What in the heck is going on here? jump over here and see what Niner's up to. Then we'll try and get this all settled, shall we? Let's. Good to see everybody still here. Nobody's leaving. Nobody leaves this fun-filled family court time. Heading for first appearances for a second. Looks like we're probably at the end of the road on that.
Has no felony history.
Of course, they're speaking Spanish.
For that reason, he is neither a danger to the community nor a risk to commit a felony.
Thank you, Copper Scratching. I'm locking the doors and closing it up. Give me a second.
Mr. Chavez Perez is 24 years old.
See?
He's originally from Guatemala, but he's lived in Atlanta for 8 years now.
Creed's coming back. There he is. Daddy's home.
Really bad storm, by the way, in case you didn't notice.
I didn't know what was going on. I assumed.
What happened? Did you lose the?
That was over.
Oh, no kidding.
Satisfied with his advice? True.
Well, they came back and basically the
You're
judge
satisfied
told
with
him,
his advice, right?
your time's up.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry.
I have other
That's
things
all right.
I need to do.
Now, have you had any drugs, alcohol, or substances that might affect your judgment in the last 24 hours?
No, Your Honor.
Just the
All right.
nits.
You understand that at each and every phase of this process, you've got the right
Look
to
at
your
Karen's
own lawyer,
face.
and if you can't afford one, that one will be appointed for you at the public's expense.
What about Kate Copeland? She looks like
Yes,
she
Your
is
Honor.
drugged
Okay.
to the.
You've also got the right to
I
have
thought
a
it was
hearing.
Keith
And at that
Richards.
hearing, the department would have to present evidence as to why they believe you're guilty of these charges. They produce witnesses, documents, exhibits, etc. You'd have the right to cross-examine those witnesses.
Karen
You'd have
does
the right
look
to present
like-
your own defense. And
Just a
at
little
the
bit.
end of that hearing, I would make a decision based on a preponderance of the evidence standard. That's a tipping of the scales. 50%
So
plus
just
a little
FYI,
bit.
if I
If I
pre-term
thought they had
again,
met their burden, I find you guilty.
did you
If
see-
thought
I
they
didn't know.
hadn't met
I
their
didn't know if you were
burden, then
coming
would
back. I
find
was
you
just
not
getting
guilty.
set
You
up to
understand
ask
that?
you, were you coming back or not?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
Your
power
Honor.
the
And,
power
we would
flashed
have that
3
hearing
times. And
today.
the third one
It's
got it.
scheduled for today, but you wish to enter a plea. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that if I accept your pleas, any
We can
appeal
listen to
from the
Mr. Hits
conviction or
and get
sentence
out
that
of here if you
results
want.
will
It's
be
up to
by
you.
leave and not by right. You'll have to ask permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anything been promised to
We
you,
can
or have you
roll
been
on.
threatened or
It's up to you.
coerced in any way to get
Very
you to
dark
plead
at your
guilty
house,
today?
by the way.
Oh, very.
No, Your Honor.
And see the icy
Are either
machine,
counsel
very
or the
good today.
department aware of
Very
any
dark.
promises, threats, or inducements that are not
Outside,
part of the
inside.
record?
Turn it on.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
No,
Mr.
you're
Hiltz, is it your own free choice to plead guilty today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you doing so because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's talk about what is alleged then in these warrants. And we'll start with count 1.
Drugs.
That warrant was issued in December of 2021.
We're gonna have
And it
storms all
alleges
night
that
too,
you
so it's-
violated condition 3 in that you failed to report on or about 12/18 of 2021 and had not made any subsequent contacts as of that point to contact the probation office. Is that true?
A
Yes,
lot
Your
of
Honor.
courts not
You
doing
knew you
anything
had an
today.
obligation to report and you didn't do so on or about December 8th of 2021. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's talk about count 2. In that count, you were, condition 4.19 indicated that you could not have any contact, written or otherwise, with anyone known to have a felony record. They allege that you had contact with Kelly Stevens on or about October 31st of 21. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
You
And
don't
you
mess
knew
with
that Kelly
Stevens.
Stevens had a
Don't be hanging out with
criminal
felons.
felony record. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's go to counts 3. These were issued in January of 2022. And they allege a violation of.
I thought
3,
that
4, and
too,
5
Ed. It looks
allege
like he's got the
violations
Kevlar
of
on.
Condition 2.4. and allege that you
Head of
used or
secured
possessed a
greed.
controlled substance on or about January 25th of 2022, in that there was a test, and that test showed the presence of MDMA, count 3, methamphetamine, count 4, and amphetamines, count 5. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
So on January
AMDA.
25th of 22, you had all 3 of those substances in your system. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's go
He's
to
a walking pharmacy
count
creed.
6.
No kidding. MDMA.
Moment. And that's from February of
Even makes
2022.
Knox's ears.
And
perk.
in that count, there's an allegation that you violated condition 1, saying that you violated the law of any unit of government, in that on or about
You got a
January
cold front coming
25th,
through
you
after all
possessed
these storms.
methamphetamine. Well, we've already talked
Reed
about
Timmer
it
is
being
in
in
the
your
area,
system.
so that-
And I understand that you pled guilty to a charge relating to this. Did you in fact violate the law by possessing methamphetamine on or about January 25th of 2022?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And with regard to count 7, they allege that you violated a criminal law by, on that same date, January 25th of 22, maintaining a drug house. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you've entered a plea of guilty to that count. Is that you did not enter a plea of guilty? I see Mr.
Your Honor,
Gordon shaking his head.
Sorry, he pled to count 1, possession of methamphetamine, dismissing count 2, the maintaining a drug house. But for purposes of probation
Oh, not the
violations,
drug house.
he would acknowledge that he maintained a drug house on or about that date.
All right, so Mr. Hiltz, you had a home or a car where you were involved in the possession or the distribution of drugs. Is that right?
Possession, yes, Your Honor.
All right, and this would have occurred on or about January 25th of 2022?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any questions regarding a factual basis, Mr. Warden?
87 here.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Is it
For the
worth it?
department?
Oh, Your Honor, thank you.
And do the parties believe the court has complied with MCR 6.302?
I do.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
68,
Okay,
a
Mr.
tornado
Hiltz,
watch.
it's now up to you. Going back to count 1, just one moment. As to the charge that you did on or about December 8th of 2021, failed to report on your scheduled report day, that being a violation of condition number 3, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As to count 2, that you had verbal,
never
written, electronic, or
maintained
physical
a drug
contact
house. It was
with
a real
Kelly
shithole.
Stevens,
Never took care
knowing
of it.
Kelly to have a felony record in violation of condition
Look at all
4.19,
these.
how do you plead?
These are all cities that
Guilty,
are
Your Honor.
affected under this
As
tornado
to count
watch.
3, that you possessed the controlled substance.
If it starts
MDMA
lightning,
on
man,
or
you
about
might want to
January
get those
25th
cans
of
off your head.
2022, in
No,
violation
no
of condition
shit.
2.4 of your probation, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And on that same date, that you possess the substance known as methamphetamine in violation of 2.4 in count 4, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And as to count 5, on that same date that you possess the substance known as amphetamine,
God.
how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Nobody. I was looking at the
And,
tornado
lastly,
watch.
Just a moment. With regard to count 6,
Yeah,
that you
Lynn, you were
violated the criminal law of a unit of government on January 25th of 2022 by possessing methamphetamine, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And in count 7, that you violated the criminal law of a unit of government by
It's pretty much every
January 25th of
city in the
2022,
50 states.
maintaining a drug house, how do you plead?
Shout them out.
Sean, I plead guilty to this, correct?
You're pleading guilty just to the probation violation. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yes, guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Well, based on our conversation today, it's clear to me you understand your right to counsel. It's clear to me that you understand your right to a hearing. And it's also clear to me that you did violate the law in the manners, pardon me, the probation order of this court in the manner that we discussed. So I'm going to go ahead and accept your pleas. I think they were knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily, and understandably given. Now I need to get an update about you from the department.
He had one of those little
That will
windows. you just
probably
walk up to
coincide, I
and
assume, with the
transaction.
sentencing on the underlying matters. And do we have a sentencing date for that, Mr. Warden?
Yes, Your
It's
Honor.
probably
It's
about to change
June
clothes
3rd.
on the top.
However, I am now going to be in Wisconsin on that date. So I would ask for the next, the
Where's
court's
he going?
next sentencing date, and you'll see a stip in order in the underlying matter that hopefully you'll consider.
We'll send this matter for sentencing on June 17.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else we can?
All
address
that
according
for
to the
that.
warning?
Let's jump
No,
over
thank
another
you.
one in Texas.
Waive your right to a jury trial and enter a plea of guilty.
Another one that's smart enough to have an interpreter that doesn't mess up the whole flow.
Is the interpreter on their way to the prom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got the little.
And enter a plea of guilty.
We're saying you're talking about weather, and all of a sudden something pops up on mine says upcoming alert.
Court finds that the plea is knowingly and voluntarily.
Oh, Pamela, you want to watch what's his name walk off set because he was so pissed that it was him?
Yeah, come on now.
State may proceed.
You judge.
I like this judge
State offer
already.
States Exhibit 1, the plea
Oh,
agreement,
Dick
judicial
Davis.
confession, and the trial court certification.
I swear, I thought like
defendant's
Steve
right
Miller's
to
music
appeal,
was like good enough for
and
him not
States
to have to
Exhibit
like
2,
work
the
in law
discovery log.
anymore. You know what I mean?
Gotta do what you gotta do.
No objection.
The judge is lined up perfectly. Yeah.
It's admitted. Anything from the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
Am I the only one that feels like the judge has a very weak voice?
Court finds you guilty of the offense as charged. Assess your punishment under 1244A at 135 days confinement in the county jail. You're hereby given.
Who we talking to,
credit for
Colin?
140
I
days.
think Colin down there, yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Pues lo que quiero explicar
I'm sorry, we have much more important news here to give you. Thanks to Dr. Ifua, I want to appreciate him for giving me more life again. Was diagnosed with hepatitis B after using Dr. Ifua herbal medicine. I got cured.
Hell yeah.
If you are infected with any kinds of illness, you can contact Dr. Ifua to cure sickness like herpes, HIV, flu, burns. Mikey's got all of it. BP, skin disease, stomach cancer, ulcer, asthma.
Easy does it. I have no acute weight pain.
No acute weight pain. What about the cancer? How about the hyena?
The hyena, maybe.
The hyena?
Just maybe the hyena.
And a lot more. Contact Dr. Ifua, DM him by following his thing. There's the link right there. So
Yeah. Make sure to really
this
check
segment
that out.
of We Got a Case brought to you by Dr. Ifua. Recommended
If you
by
if you in pain, go see Dr. Ifua.
Ifua. And get your hyena taken care of.
Get that hyena right out of there. My herpes clear right up. Just rub it on your weight pain.
Listen, we got to make money somehow. Dr. Ifua came to us and he's like, listen, I can cure hyena and everything else.
You swear our firm testimony you're going to give be the truth, whole truth,
What,
nothing
no
but the truth,
McDonald's
that you got.
yesterday.
Yes.
This guy hates Yankees,
You
by the
state
way, this
your name.
judge, right?
Pedro
I hope so.
Mr. Cruz, state has filed a petition to adjudicate.
Wow, this guy's name is Colin Detention
Have you
too.
received that petition under?
Yeah, loud. I think that falls under the other lot of other things.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
To paragraphs 3 through 11, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
Are you pleading true because the allegations are
Thank you,
true
Nancy.
and for no other reason?
Because they are true.
Has anyone promised you anything?
Right,
threatened,
Nick.
forced, or coerced
Party
to
time.
get you plead
Go
true?
for it.
No.
The state is recommending
Look at John down here.
that you be continued.
He
on
might
the
need some of
search.
Dr.
Is that
Ifua.
what you agreed to?
Oh, John had a rough night. He went out and celebrated Cinco de Mayo with the rest of the
I don't have
rookies.
to follow that recommendation, but if I don't, you can withdraw your plea of true and enter a plea of not true. If I do
Is that
follow,
Malcolm's dad up in
you
the
have
top
no
corner?
right to appeal. Do you understand?
I understand.
Have you
I
received
know,
a
I
copy
know.
of the trial
I
court
overstepped my
certification of
bounds.
Defendant right of appeal?
Not yet.
Okay, you should have had that in the paperwork that your attorney gave you.
Then I think I do. I'm not sure.
Do what?
Do
No, I
what?
think I do. I'm not sure. I have to check. But
He
I think
does. He has it.
Well, Mr. Cruz, it tells you the same thing that I just told you, is that you have no right to appeal as this is a plea bargain case, and that appears to be your signature here.
Well, certainly not much happening here.
Reviewing.
Do you think if
that.
we rubbed it on top of
Yes, I
Hal's head right there, maybe it would help with that bald spot?
Now, are you
Steve Miliband's gone for today.
It was only
Yeah.
15
Yes,
minutes.
yes,
See if we got anything else
We're not.
happening.
So
I appreciate that.
yeah, so there it wasn't
This is my attorney
it was
right
just
here.
I guess a miscommunication, and then your
Mr.
office then
Marcox.
scheduled your. What we can do is I can give you those dates and times, what I have available. And then you can see what works. Perhaps you can use email and connect with everybody to make sure what could work, but I can let you know, well, it is Friday, so that probably the Monday date probably doesn't
Friday,
really work
everybody.
so well. If we don't know if we have witnesses, I could
We'll
do
get Florida
Tuesday
Friday,
at
and we got a chase
2:30.
today. Presented by Larry.
Your Honor, Tuesday at 2:30 would not work for me. I have a final hearing and a mental commitment that's going to be a very challenging hearing starting at 3.
Am I the only one that thinks both these
I
attorneys
understand.
look like
So,
they ain't making that money
I don't
that
know
we just saw
what
those
you
other
want to
two
do.
making?
I'm
I
trying to
believe you
get
might
it
be
in
right.
as early as we practically can for Mr. Hansen's behalf. I know he did waive time limits, but I could do May 24th at 2:30.
I don't think that flag is even straight.
I'm in trial on the 24th.
Okay.
Is that a kid? I mean, I'm the one thinking this guy's like a child over here.
Now we're
with a
getting
mask
into June.
on. June.
I could do June 9th at 3:15.
Let's go to Thurston County.
Testifying
What's
from the
going
stock
on?
room. Please
Oh,
don't
is
go
everybody
full
leaving?
screen on Samsung. Great job with that green screen. Very lifelike.
Looks great. Yeah.
Very lifelike.
Yes.
We've seen this judge before. He's a doozy. He's a real doozy judge.
She contacted them. Yes. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. They should put it on the warrants.
Guess we're not doing anything over here either.
They're just it's Friday, Creed. Everybody's kind of lackadaisical.
I-
And Samsung's got his ear.
Yeah, yell louder to Samsung. I don't think they can hear you.
Oh my God.
Mr.
Ooh,
Walker.
yeah.
We're entering his follicles.
I tried to quash the Olympia warrant, but apparently the Olympia warrant is because you owe them 60 days of jail. So they will not agree to my quashing their warrant. You need to go down and serve those 60 days.
That's some
really?
shitty
Okay.
news.
Yep.
Oh, really?
You're gonna have to contact them. I don't know whether it's 60
Best
days,
of luck.
60 days electronic monitoring. I don't know what.
Well,
the
that
sentence is,
sucks.
but you'll have to contact Olympia.
Nothing but good news from the
It'll be
judge today.
outstanding until you take care of those 60 days.
Okay, well, I'm committed to taking care of these warrants, sir. I've got a good.
Right as soon as I get back from
working on.
space.
This stuff is all old stuff, and I appreciate your help with that. I'll get it handled.
Okay, yeah, we tried to take care of it, but
Captain Happy has an instant request, Mikey, 13th Judicial
Okay,
District,
well, it's good to
Kansas.
see you again, Your Honor. Thank you for your help.
Let's see some first appearances, then we'll jump. Don't forget, members only coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. Again, Florida Friday, presented by Larry.
Good old Larry.
We got a chase today. That was gross. Hello, Bob.
Oh, the angel of death has appeared.
Oh, Christopher is ready to uphold.
Your Honor, we're asking for a short set over. We'll not have a chance to talk about his case.
and Mr. Uphold, do you have Ms. Jones' cell number?
Is he homeless and have a tarp
gotten it
behind him?
from the office of assigned counsel, but I guess
Pretty
I had
sure.
written down the wrong number and haven't been able to contact her.
That's it.
Okay, Ms.
Wrong
Jones,
phone
want to
number.
give him?
Nothing yet, lady
There was
fair.
no harassment court today. That courtroom
I'm ready for that.
didn't do anything
All right,
today.
it's 360.
Oh, look at his cute little milk carton.
490.
He's
Oh.
drinking out of two other
60.
receptacles already.
Okay, give me a second.
Got first appearances ready whenever you are. Creed.
36.
Hold on, he's a
Let's see what-
camping.
Let's see what.
Yeah, with the Boy
Christopher's got.
Scouts.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing a over the weekend camping trip with 52 scouts.
Lord knows there's lots of good
360.
DUI ones. We could actually, if you guys liked,
Oh yeah,
you know,
490.
it's really not that bad of an idea if we did like that, kind of along with, how we add in other things. Do you guys enjoy watching people go through all the tests and stuff? Those videos? Like we watched the one, remember the younger girl that was in the McDonald's drive-through or something?
I
that we
typically
watched?
cut all that out.
Yeah,
Because
see, I kind of
it's
like
like
those.
that one, like the one with the girl passed out at the bank when we saw
Yeah.
her passed out in the car. That was a 45-minute video.
Yeah, well, talk about that and see if you guys remind us during the members only have that chat tonight. I like watching those. I like watching like the drunk college girls getting pulled over and go through all the tests and everything.
I bet you do, weirdo.
Oh, yeah, baby. First appearances never probably
So
going
we
to
might
get out
want
of
to
here.
do, I don't know if you want to do
Over to the
Mr.
library,
Favre
there's
or
Sally.
somebody else, but Mr. Watts expressed a conflict the last time, well, not the last time we were in court, but back
I'm
in
looking at all
September
these people.
2020.
Only two of them I feel like shouldn't be
Okay.
in jail. All the rest look pretty guilty.
Well, I don't know what that's all about, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, Tipsy Thursday.
And I think I will go ahead and appoint Blake Cooper
Good
Then-
good appointment.
to both these cases with a July 1st, 2022 at 9 a.m. Mr. Marks, if Mr. Cooper gets this case and he
Same here,
wants
Funk. I enjoy those.
a special setting not on a docket for your case or wants a different date,
Why
we
not?
will let you know. But for now, that's
I made
when
it a
we plan
thumbnail
to
over on that we
put
got to
you
chase
on
channel.
Zoom and have your
That's
hearing with Mr. Cooper representing you. We will let Mr. Cooper know that you are at Lansing.
Appreciate it,
Time to
Judge.
start rubbing his shoulders.
All right, you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll get going on these warrants for you and get them resolved.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
What a nice guy.
All right, so if we go
God,
back
I
to
don't- Jim.
I don't believe so.
Do you imagine?
our original order, we scheduled that appearance at 1:15 for the Department of Corrections. Then I
God, I
think
wish.
we're looking at Mr. Nykum. Sir, I'm sorry, I just can't begin to pronounce your name. Can you pronounce your name for me?
She butchered it.
Kamani Wong.
One more time.
Kamani Wong.
Kamani?
Yes.
Wong.
Kamani Wong.
Say it about 55 more times, I'll still get it wrong.
Kamani Wong.
Okay. It is 2020 CR 240, and you had a forgery conviction
Ooh,
that
forgery.
you were
Don't get those too
arrested
often.
on a probation violation as well. It's alleged that
You done effed up.
you were ordered to serve a 48-hour sanction that you failed to serve, and that
48-hour sanction was, what is 48-hour sanction about?
I
How
don't
can I
know.
do
It
it? Well, what it's about.
says at the defendant's last violation hearing on July 29th of 21, he was ordered, so it was probably a Zoom hearing, to report to the jail and serve a 48-hour jail sanction. Then he was ordered.
60 days. I think, wasn't that in the country about
Those are good. The judges and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it says upon
Oh yeah, there's some of that.
his
stuff, too.
release, he was to immediately contact corrections.
Well, that's
The
a
defendant
Halloween
has
6.
failed to contact corrections and his whereabouts are unknown.
Hell yeah.
This warrant was issued
Thank you,
August
thanks.
25th, 2021 in the amount of 2,500 cash or surety. Let me look a little deeper here at notes.
I feel like this judge likes a nice stiff drink.
On 7:30 of
20
Every
21,
morning when she wakes up.
you waived hearing. Mr. Favre was representing you.
Hello, Gail.
Admits to being in violation. Except
What a beautiful
saying
reveal of Gail.
court orders 2 more days in Butler.
I think that there was just I think there was an earthquake. Look.
Everything is definitely askew and gone. Camera's crooked.
It's just bouncing.
Out, and they're alleging that you never did so.
Okay.
So they arrested you. Okay, you set your bond at 2,500. Your I'll reappoint Mr. Favre. Your show cause hearing is June 3rd at 2:30 with Judge
Welcome back, Harvey.
Have a seat.
Hart.
Just in time.
Okay,
She got her hair did.
all right, thank you.
All right, guys. I'll tell you what. We'll see you at 4:05 East for We Got a Chase again, Florida Friday, presented by Larry.
Everybody remember that
telling
when
you.
you see Larry.
This thing was just rocking. I mean, it was weird.
Maybe there's a Garth Brooks concert down the street.
Yeah, did you see that? That is insane. Would you feel comfortable being in a stadium with that many people? Because I would.
You know, the whole place had to be vibrating if it was like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to move a little bit, right?
Yeah, has to.
What we're talking about, in case you didn't see the news, is that there was a Garth Brooks concert that legit it read as if it were an earthquake. There's so many people in that stadium. It's insane.
And they all started singing at the same time. And that's what caused it to go off.
Just nuts. Anyways, so we'll see you at 4:05. Remember, 6 o'clock East for members only. I've got a pretty funny video from Pan Am, I think it was. I think it's a training video from back in the day.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I have a video that is not funny, but it kind of is.
And speaking of kind of funny, but kind of isn't, we'll say a local celebrity in the tiny little area that I grew up in, one of the news anchors got in a lot of trouble.
Uh-oh.
And there is a 15-minute video that I wanted to ask if we wanted to watch for members only tonight or not. The reason why I say that is because it's one of those, he was there to meet somebody that he shouldn't.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, if that's the case, then we'll do that as well tonight. So we got a good members only. So if you're not a member, you might want
make sure you jump in there. Did I say somebody kissed her sister? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, don't let me forget. Grotto said something during one of GNS's. This is quite a few weeks ago now.
Uh-oh.
Hey, there he is, right there. Grotto, I have to ask you this very quickly before we go. Did you say on GNS's stream at one point a few weeks ago that you were investigating a friend of yours that married his daughter or announced that he was when she was 18? Did I understand that correctly?
To what?
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask Grotto that. He said it. It was like completely breezed
And
over.
nobody said anything?
No,
Nobody didn't
I've been
freak out?
meaning to say something. I've talked with Grotto so much since then too, and I just keep forgetting.
All 4 people in that chat just brush that right on by. I can't believe that.
Couldn't hear him over the music. Anyways, Grotto, I need more information on that.
I gotta
Let's
find
tell
out
that. I swear that's exactly what he said. Or was that one of my weird dreams?
Fever dream. Wow.
Anyways. And that's a good question. I don't know how that happens. Or how I can tell.
You should be able to look because it gives you these little things you can send that say, hey, I've been a member X amount of months.
Is that? I don't know. I'll message it. Anyways,
Well.
all right. We'll see you at 4:05 again for We Gotta Chase. It is Florida Friday, and it never disappoints. Florida Man is at it again.
All right, guys. Until next time, which will be in just a little while. Please remember. Bye.
Yes.
My cousin is my sister.
My God.
What?
Hey.